Welcome to the Fit Dad Club podcast. This is Travis Jones here with Jason Barrett. Today we are talking all things chocolate bunnies. No, but really what we're talking about is all things how to get back after a weekend that is when you have things outside your control, like Easter, and how to be present sometimes. You know, you could be currently going through some Easter celebrations. When you're listening to this, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I splurged over the weekend. What do I do? Do I just wait till next week because this is a short week because it's a public holiday? How to basically flip the switch to get back on track, or how to grind through, or how to do it differently next time. So if any of those things tickle your fancy, that is what today's podcast is about. Jace, how are you doing today? And hopefully you aren't surrounded by Easter bunny chocolate right now.
Well, not actually. I mean, there is actually a bag of it behind me, but mostly gifts for other people. But I mean, my wife and I have a competition every year where we just try and see how long we can make our Easter chocolate last. And I think from April, we lasted till about August last time with the amount of chocolate that we had. So, you know, if you don't eat it all in one day, you get to enjoy it for a longer period of time. So one egg a day doesn't break the bank. You just track it, you move on with your life. So, no, I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I see that you're recovered from all of your injuries and illnesses. Sick. And all sorts.
Oh, dude, I had such a flu last week. Like at last week's podcast, I had a bit of a tickly throat. And then from Thursday onwards, just went severely downhill. But went for a couple of runs, back into it good today. Felt good, ran a good 10K in 50 minutes and wasn't pushing too hard. I kept about a 150 heart rate. So it was good. I felt great today. So hopefully that means I'm getting back on track and I don't have as tickly a throat this week. But in talking about saving eggs, I'll tell you something. One of my son, who's 5, we found like 4 months, maybe 5 months after Easter last year, he had been because we found some wrappers on the ground, like probably August or September. Yeah. And we're like, what's going on here? And we found that he had hidden a stash of Easter eggs in the back of his drawer. And he'd been eating them at night when he'd go to sleep. He'd wake up in the middle of the night and have a chocolate egg. He's like secretly eating them for like 5 months. He was eating chocolate at nighttime and like just had been hiding them. And it was just like, it wasn't obviously doing it every night either because he'd like kept it like for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, how many eggs do you need? I was like, do the maths on that.
I know. I was like, dude, mate, this year when the Easter bunny comes, we have like a week limit to make sure that we're holding on to this chocolate because we're not hiding it this time and we're not going to eat it until Christmas. So mate, kids, you never know what's going to happen. But I want you all to think about right now. There's a couple of things at Easter which completely can derail people. One, because they use a fuck it mentality, and I'm going to use that word because all of a sudden they're like, fuck it, it's Easter. And when they use that mentality, they go all in. It's they're all in on the food and they're all out on the movement, which then mentally it's very hard to get back over because all of a sudden you've smashed all this chocolate, you start craving all those sugary foods again, you're out of routine and discipline, and then it takes them a week and sometimes 2 or 3 weeks to get back in the groove. So I think the biggest thing is definitely not having that type of mentality coming into Easter and on the last day of Easter, if you're listening it's now on the Monday. So we don't want that. We want to create a plan. And I think that's the biggest thing. And it can be a loose plan or a tight plan, whatever it is, but it's a plan. And I think that's the key thing of how you attack the weekend and how you attack the back end of the weekend coming into your normal week. Jace, would you like to go into how you would create this plan?
Yeah, so sorry, froze for a bit there, but the some of the things that I tend to do to kind of keep this weekend contained is the biggest thing for me is like people make the excuse. This is the one I hear a lot of, oh, but it's just once a year. It only happens once a year. It's just one time. And yeah, it's just one time, but guess what else is just one time? Anniversaries, birthdays, wife's birthdays. We've talked about this before. Christmas, New Year's, Anzac Day, Australia Day. Anzac Day's in like 2 weeks. We've got another public holiday, another short week. It's going to
the Queen's birthday.
Queen's birthday, King's coronation. We got all sorts of shit coming up. But not like all of that sort of stuff. It happens constantly. It's always there. There's always an event or a wedding or whatever. There's like, as we get older, we get so many more people in our lives. And then there's, kids' birthdays and all sorts of other shit that happens. And if you tally all that up, there's probably like 30, 40, annual events that happen that you have to go to, whether it's one person's birthday or another or a wedding, that you're like, oh, it's just once a year, but it's like that's almost 10% of your year. It's like 10% of your year that you spend. And if you just spend that maintaining, not a problem. But a lot of people spend that time actively going backwards, and they spend that time actively sabotaging, because it's not just contained, as Trav said, to the 4 days. It becomes 6, 7, 8, 9, because you don't get straight back into it on the Tuesday. And that's my number one thing that I can give to everybody. If you're listening to this on the Monday, is today, if you can, but if not today, then tomorrow, book something in that is going to get you back on track. Whether it's movement, movement's the easiest, right? Movement is the easiest win, because you don't have to have or do anything. You can put on your shoes and go for a fucking run, and that is, you're back into it. You're back into that mentality of movement, of progress, of health, of wellness, of all that good stuff. So chuck on your shoes and go for a run if that's the thing you have to do. Food is a little bit harder if you haven't gone shopping, or the shops are closed on Easter Sunday. Or I don't even know if that still happens. Things tend to be open all the time now, but the shops aren't open. I haven't got all my healthy meals planned out. It's like, you've got to plan this shit in advance, right? So for the next time that this happens, have some stuff in. Like, it's not kind of like Christmas where the standard meal tends to be, we're going to have, chicken and a cold meat platter. And, I don't know, if you're an American, you've got Thanksgiving, which is turkey. It's like, the focus is on protein. No, this focus is on fats and carbs in like chocolate eggs, right? It's like the ultimate combination of gains, anti-shredding food. So one of my tips is get back into it straight away. Just go Monday or Tuesday, whatever floats your boat, whatever suits you, get straight back into it. Don't leave you any wiggle room for, but now I'm feeling a bit, chocolate hangover. Plan something for that day, make it a non-negotiable, and get back into the rhythm and the momentum. And you'll find that water weight that you picked up from the hot cross buns and the chocolate, it'll drop off, it'll get back to normal. So find that time to get back into the routine, into the rhythm on the Tuesday. Make it a non-negotiable for yourself, ideally on the Monday, but if not, on the Tuesday. And I think that's my biggest tip, is just damage limitation. When it comes to the damage limitation side of things, get back into momentum, into the positive momentum. Otherwise, you're going to keep spiraling.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And as you touched on, I think training is probably one of the most crucial things where you book in on that Tuesday morning. Training is a keystone habit. And if we do our training first thing on the Tuesday, it will start to knock over the dominoes, which is eating healthy, getting our steps in, mentally getting our head right. If we put off training on that Tuesday morning, then then it's Wednesday and we haven't trained yet. And then it's like, it's okay, I'll get back into it next week. Like, we have to make sure that the training box is ticked on the Tuesday morning before the day starts, because if we don't get back into our training, then we don't get back into our eating, we don't get back into our healthy mindset, and then we've lost that whole next week. And I think, so if anything, knock over the training domino first thing on the Tuesday morning to set up the short week right. And I think the other thing is, it's like environmental control. There is no, like, here, if you had a couple of eggs over the weekend, like, that's okay. Like, the average small egg, the Cadbury eggs, they're like 45 cows. Okay. But there's a bag of them. Okay. sitting on the table, 2 bags of them sitting on the table. So that's not 45 calories. That's like 1,000 calories that's sitting there. And you just, every time you walk past the table, you just grab one or you just grab 2. So I think it's making sure that, if you're someone that's going to grab the eggs, but it's out of sight, out of mind. I think that's a big thing for that next week. It's like, they've already done studies. If you put, apples on the table, then more fruit will be eaten. If we have, water inside the communal areas more readily available, people start to hydrate more often, because the environmental cues of seeing something all the time, we are drawn to it and we will consume more of it. So if we keep the chocolate eggs on the table because that's where they're kept, then we're going to eat more of them without even realizing or without even craving it, because we see it. That is the trigger, cue, routine, reward, cue, see the egg. And then we start to salivate. We're like, the routine is eating the egg. The reward was we get this like little hit and we feel good. And once you have one, it's a hyper palatable food. It's fats and carbohydrates, as Jay said just before. So all of a sudden our cravings kick in and we don't just have one little egg. Like, you cannot name one person. I couldn't name one person I know that if there's like a pack of 20 little eggs there, they just grab one. I'll just have one a day. Like, there is no one out there, I believe, that does that.
I'm close to it. I have 2.
Yeah, I have 2. But for me, like, it's a mindless activity. you don't even just realize that you had 4 eggs or 5 eggs today. Because every time you're like, oh, no, I just had, one. It's like, no, dude, you walk past the kitchen table like 7, 8, 9 times and you grabbed one every single time you walk past it. That's 500 calories. It just took you out of your deficit. Okay. And also when we start to have those hyperpalatable foods, we start to crave more food as well. It doesn't signal the satiety of I am full. It makes us actually more hungry to eat more food. So then we're craving more carbohydrates. We're craving more calories over the rest of the day as well. So I think, if anything, environmental control over the 7 days So 1, train Tuesday morning, and 2, control your environment over the next 7 days. If you know that they're just going to be on take them out of the table. Give them to you. If you're your husband right now and you've got no self-control, that's me. I'm literally a zero self-control person when it comes to chocolate eggs sitting on the table. So, when we're looking at this, give them to your wife, tell them to put them in the closet, and so where you don't know where they are, and she can give them to your kids. Like, that's completely fine, because now I've controlled the whole thing. I don't even know where they are, and I can't be bothered looking for them, because again, if it is out of sight, it is out of mind for me. I don't think about, I need to get some chocolate. I just don't even think. I just get on with my life and I do my thing. So I think it's controlling the controllables for you, and managing and mastering your environment, and not falling prey to the whole, as you said just before, Jace, the peer pressure around things, as far as, dude, it's just once a year. It's like, yeah, it's once a year, but there's something at least once a month. So that's, not once a year, that's 12 times a year. And if it does take you that week to get back on track, we're looking at, guys, 12 weeks here. That's a quarter of the year where you're not going forwards. You're either going sideways or going backwards. And that doesn't lead to an exceptional lifestyle or above average health and energy, an abundance of energy. It leads to the average, the mediocrity. And the average, unfortunately, is overweight or obese. So if you're like, no, I'm happy to be average, and no one really is happy to be mediocre. And unfortunately, mediocre for us in Australia, and the same in the States, it's like 68% of the population is overweight or obese. So the average is actually not good. We need to be above average. So we need to have above average standards if we want to be an above average role model for our children, which is, if you're listening to this podcast, that is exactly who you are. You want to be above average. No one who's like, I want to be average is going to listen to a podcast that's trying to help them and guide them to be the best version of them. So if you're 12 minutes into this podcast, you're the type of person that's like, no, I want to be better and I need to be focused. I need to be accountable and be supported to be better. So ask your wife, make me better. Help me be better. Hide the chocolate from me. Draw the line in the sand. I'm booking myself in to get to the gym or going for a run on Tuesday morning. Tell her to kick you in the ass out of the bed. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever it takes for you to get the job done, make that and lock that in right now so you can start this week off right, so we don't lose our precious week of the year right now.
I think a big thing is what's done is done, right? Exactly as it says, like, we're getting back into it. What's done is done. Whether you binged and ate a shit ton of food, whether you tracked it all and then you were like, you know what, I regret it. I regretted not having a couple of hot cross buns, or I regretted not having time with my family and I was too focused on tracking my food and I didn't pay attention, whatever. So whatever has happened, it's done. You just have to accept it and move on and make the best of the opportunity that you've got now. So realize that, yeah, whatever happens, if you manage to put on a kilo of fat over those 3-4 days, impressive, well done. Maybe you should look into like a sumo career or go become a strongman or a powerlifter, because that's impressive. But if not, it's done. The guilt and the shame and all the other sort of negative emotions, they're not going to be serving you. They're not going to serve you moving forward. So don't allow them to control and dictate your next week. Don't allow them to sort of be in your head and then have you make more poor decisions as a result of that. Because quite often it's not because of the meal, it's because of the shame and the guilt around the meal and around the week that people will tend to spiral out of control. So whatever's happened has happened, right? You're not any, you're not any more or less of a human being than you were before that. You made some choices, right? This is, I think, a big thing is separating intention and identity, right?
Yeah.
It's separating the actions that you take from who you are, right? Just because you did something doesn't mean that is who you are, right? And now a lot of our actions will tend to lead to our identity. Like the actions that we take will make us think of ourselves a certain way, and we want to use that for the positive rather than the negative. So making sure, I take this action, this means I am a healthy person, right? And that the more that we identify with that, the more better actions we will take. But just because you made a mistake or you slipped up doesn't mean that you are a shit person. So don't take the guilt and the shame of those negatives. Take all the abundance of the positives of, no, you know what? I had one moment, I had my time, I enjoyed my time. Now it's time to get back into it. Doesn't make me any less of who I am. I'm still a healthy dad. I'm still focused on my fitness. It doesn't undo all of your hard work. So the shame and the guilt is a big one when it comes to especially chocolate, right? Like a lot of people, I feel like I'm just like a little kid eating this chocolate, like, oh, babies like that chocolate. I was like, well, no, babies like breast milk. Like, my baby right now likes plain sweet potato. That's what she likes. She's getting into the solids. But I love the little eggs personally for myself because they're, number one, it's time intensive. You've got to unwrap this fiddly little thing, try and peel the edge off with your fingernail and get around it. It's dense. It's like, it feels like you're chewing on something solid. It's not like those big ones that are like triple the calories, but they're hollow inside. It feels like it's empty, but you end up eating so much more chocolate. So I like having the little eggs. That's like my personal preference. I'll have those. They're a pain in the ass to unwrap, but they're out of sight. They're in the little cupboard in the fridge behind the door, so you can't see them. But when you do want one, you've got one, but you've got to work for it. That's my secret. You got to work for it. Make sure you wrap it up like 3 times in the alfoil, and you got to peel it off.
I just eat the whole thing because I look at the tinfoil as like fiber.
Yeah. It works. Yeah, just gargle them. It's easy. You got some shiny shit coming out. A bit of roughage. Disgusting. The taste of alfoil now has ruined the eggs for me. But it's the emotions around these events that tend like, oh, I'm worried about missing out. You're not missing out on anything. No one ever thought, like when they sat down with their family at a meal, no one, the ones that are really memorable, that make you feel really good inside. It was never, oh, the food was the hot cross bun was amazing. Oh, it's the same fucking hot cross bun you eat every year. As I say, oh, there's a mocha one this year. Oh yeah, that's all great. You're not going to remember that in a year's time. There's going to be a fucking Biscoff one next year and everyone's going to be frothing over it, right? So it's not about the food and it's not about the drinking. It's about the time with your family and it's about the conversation and the camaraderie. And it's like, the problem can be that other people make it about food because they're uncomfortable, right? They're uncomfortable if you're choosing to have the fruit salad that's there at the brunch in the morning as opposed to the croissants and the hot cross buns. And it's like, oh, who cares about food? We're here to have fun as a family and enjoy and watch the kids run around like crazy and trying to find all the Easter eggs, right? Get your cardio up, run around with them, pretend that you hid 20 eggs, but you only hid 15. So you're running around for 15 minutes that you don't need to. Get your steps up. But it's the pressure and the idea of these events and the emotions around it. It's like, fuck, just enjoy the time with your family. It doesn't have to be about food.
I think so, mate. I think the biggest thing that most of us have to understand, there is no such thing as guilty food. The chocolate bunny isn't like a guilty bunny. It is simply like a mix up of like protein, carbs and fats, right? Like that's all it is. It is a piece of chocolate. It has no emotion labeled to it. We label it with an emotion. And because we label it with an emotion, we feel that. And normally when we say we can't have something, we want more of it, just as human nature. So if we go, I'm going to allow myself 2 chocolate eggs a day, it's like 100 calories a day. Do it for the next 2 weeks if you want it, guys. If you have that type of self-control and you're going to do 2 a day for the next 10 days, hey, power to you. Just add it to your calories, track them, enjoy them with your coffee in the morning or at nighttime. I don't care when you have them. Just if you're going to track it, you do you. If you're someone who's like, you know what, it's just easier for me to cut the cord and go back to not eating it, then hey, power to you as well. But there is no guilt. There is no guilt to it. And I think all it is, it's either you're tracking your food or you're not tracking your food. You're hitting your calories or you're not hitting your calories. And if you are trying to hit your calories, okay, then you work it into your daily food. And that's all it is. And if you take a mistake and you overgo one day or you overconsume, we've talked about this in the habits, like we just never miss 2 days in a row. I think that's the biggest thing. Stop labeling food as guilty or not guilty. Like the chicken breast isn't not guilty and the chocolate is guilty. They're both just food. Okay. And we both need to consume a certain amount of it to enjoy the body composition that we want. So I think that is probably one of the biggest things that we can understand. I think also it's like, you did touch on it slightly. It's stopping the justification. Like, we need to stop justifying poor behaviors. Oh, but I've been so good up until this. It's like, I don't care if you've been so good for the last 7 years.
He's
like,
not Santa. He's not checking his list twice.
Exactly. Like, I don't care what you did yesterday. I care what you did today, because that's what we have to look at. So we have to understand that we don't justify poor behaviors just because it's Easter. We justify nothing. All we do is we wake up this morning and we act with the best of actions based on the intention that we're putting forward. And you said, actions and intentions, it is separate, right? The intention is, I want to be a role model for my kids. I want to be the healthiest version of me. Okay. That's my intention. That doesn't mean every single action is in line with that intention. Sometimes we have the intention to be this person, and there's a couple of stray actions in there. 3 actions out of the 50 over the next 7 days, you might not go in flow with that intention, and that's completely fine. What it means is the majority of your actions are in line with your intention. And I think that's what we have to understand. If I look over the next 7 days, I've looked over the 7 days in total, Sunday yesterday, Monday today, the next, 5 days until the next week. If we look over the 7 days, did the majority of your actions place in line with the intention to be the best version of you? And that will only happen if you draw the line in the sand at 11:59 tonight and say, tomorrow I'm getting my shit together and I'm getting to the gym. I'm going to train. Like, we have to go, where is the majority sitting with my actions? And I think that is the only thing you have to understand, because what is done is done. You can't change the weekend. You can't change the past. If you can change the past, and you do have some form of time machine, let me know. We'll do the Back to the Future, get the almanac, and we'll go play some bets. But we don't have that ability, team. We have the ability to change right now and tomorrow and the next day. So, and all that is do the majority of my actions match my intentions? And if they don't, all you're doing is lying to yourself. So I need us to, 1, stop lying to ourselves. 2, get real with yourself. Okay. If you're feeling like shit, say, yep, I'm feeling like shit. Why? Because I went like an all you can eat egg buffet of chocolate. And it's like, okay, well, that wasn't the best you. That's okay. We learn. We don't do that again, because chocolate is there all year round. Sometimes it's in the shape of eggs. Sometimes it's in the shape of blocks. Sometimes it's in the shape of, Santa. Santa now has his own version of an Easter egg. Like, whatever it is, there's chocolate there forever. And you don't have to consume it just because the commercial reality of eating chocolate is heightened around us with marketing dollars spent over this weekend. Okay. I think we just have to understand that chocolate is there 365 days of the year. Okay. We don't need to consume it dramatically over a 3 or 4 day period in April just because the marketing campaigns around it. It will be there tomorrow, and it will be there in 7 years from now. You aren't missing out on chocolate. It is not scarce. Okay. There is an abundance of chocolate. So please don't act like it's scarce, and you must eat it all or you'll never see it again. I think that is a crucial understanding about the justifications that we have.
Yeah, I think the other aspect of it is we justify things for ourselves, but then we also buy into other people's justifications. We buy into families' justifications, and there's a transformation that you have to go through, and there's a like a shifting dynamic that happens when you as a dad become, I want to be a fit dad. And if you're the first one in your family to make that change, if you're the one who's kind of leading the charge, like there are a lot of dads that we speak to that, their partners are on some kind of fitness journey. They've been, tracking their food, doing their fitness stuff, doing their workouts. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, they've inspired me to get into it. And that's well and good. But there's a lot of dads who are the first ones to take that step. And they're the ones who are saying, no, I'm not happy with where I'm at. I want to make this change. And this can cause an upset and a lot of issues, because when you strive for something, when there's an old saying, when you shine your light, it allows other people to see their shadow, right? And they don't like that. A lot of people will try to extinguish your light, and they'd rather live in darkness than see your light and be aware of the fact that they have a shadow or they have some failings. Essentially, when you start doing something, it brings to light to other people, oh, I'm not doing that. And it'll typically be it'll tend to be the older generation, like usually, like for example, like my parents would be the ones back in the day that might be like, oh, just enjoy yourself, stop tracking your micro things, whatever you're doing, and this isn't protein chocolate, or and they'll go on and on and on about it. Although, protein chocolate would be pretty fucking legit. But they'll go on and on about it, and they'll try and make you feel bad. They'll try and be like, "Oh, just have a croissant. Who cares? It's fine, whatever." And then you're dealing with the fact that you're almost like letting yourself down and your own standards down for other people and for their opinion of you, right? It might be your wife, it might be well-meaning, but she might be like, "Oh, just have a day off from using the app and tracking the things. It'll be fine. Just have fun with us for once," because they equate not tracking food and not being on point with your goals and having just whatever it is you want to eat as fun. That's, even though that's not really what they actually mean, that's what they're saying. And that's what their kind of intention is because you're tracking that food, it's making me aware of my own shortcomings. It's making me aware of my own shit. And I want you to stop it because it makes me uncomfortable. That's like, in reality, who gives a fuck what anyone else eats? No, not like look, I coach guys and I still don't care what they eat. I'm like, hey, you're the one who wants to achieve this goal. If you're eating extra calories, it doesn't go into my stomach. I don't care, right? Like you do you, homie. You pay me to coach you and you don't want to do it. That's up to you. But what other people eat should be of no one's concern. And you have to be very secure in yourself to be able to face those people that are trying that, like, you've got the whole family around, there's kids and everyone's having one, right? Everyone wants to justify their own decisions by, trying to drag you down. So be aware that that is going to happen from time to time, depending on what kind of family you've got. But you've got to go in almost armored and ready to say, no, this is something that's important to me. I'm perfectly happy with the choices that I'm making. And as long as you can accept that, there's nothing anyone else can say. You don't try to argue it. You don't try to fight it. You don't show them the message from your coach saying, no, but Jason told me I had to eat I could eat 4 eggs and 1 hot cross bun. And then I had to eat chicken breast for lunch. And then I could balance it out with a protein shake. None of that shit matters. What matters is that you make your decision and you own it. I legit just sent this message to my guys this morning in preparation for the Easter weekend, just to say, hey, like, whatever you choose to do, just be aware of the consequences and own it and stick to it. Either way, that's all that matters, is that you make the decision to do something and then you stick with it and you own it. Say, whether it's to, have a bit of a break from tracking on a couple of the days and just eat what you feel like, if that, and being aware that, hey, that might set you back a little bit. Okay, if that's the decision that you want to make, knowing the consequences, go for gold. But don't do it based on what other people say. Don't listen to other people's opinions of how you should be eating and what you should be consuming, because it's none of their business. But be aware that it does come usually from them, from a place of fear, and from a place of lack and not quite jealousy, but just that little bit of, I should be doing something about it, but I'm not, so I'm going to lash out. So that external pressure, that peer pressure that does come in, it is, see it for what it is, which is, usually people lashing out from a place of lack or inadequacy. It's not about you. Don't take it personally. And those social situations with other people won't affect you nearly as much.
I think that's completely, I agree with everything you're saying, mate. I think when we're looking at it, it's really simple. When you've changed your behaviors and changed how you act, around loved ones or even friends, people question, one, what they don't understand. And most people don't understand nutrition, and they don't understand why you're changing. People also question actions that confront their reality. Okay, so if you're acting towards the best version of you that confronts them, why am I not acting like this as well? People then also question you when you are acting in a different way to the way they see you and the past you have lived, because your old identity and your current actions don't match up. So they start to question this. It's like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. The reality is you aren't who you were last year. You aren't even who you were last month or last week. We're constantly evolving and moving forwards or backwards. If they say you are obsessed right now with your health, you need to own that. Like, obsession is not a bad thing. If you're obsessed about your financial wealth and creating, generational wealth for your family, so you have that security, that's seen as positive in society. If you're obsessed about being a fantastic husband and dad, that's seen as a positive thing. It's because the majority of society is unhealthy. Then when we're obsessed about being healthy, that is seen as a negative thing, but you need to own it instead. You need to go like, damn right, I'm obsessed. Like, I am obsessed with being the healthiest version of me. Like I am obsessed with my goals around my health right now. I am obsessed with having abundance of energy. Like I am obsessed about feeling confident inside my own skin. I am obsessed about being a role model for my kids. Like I am obsessed about creating generational health for my family, so my kids are healthy, so their kids are healthy, because the line has to stop somewhere, because at the moment we have this generation of obesity and overweight society coming through, because kids are more overweight than they ever have been. Parents are more overweight than they ever have been, and their kids will be more overweight. Like we need to draw a line in the sand. It's like, no, I'm creating generational health. And what that takes is obsession. And that is a damn good thing. So you need to own it and actually be proud of it, that you are drawing a line in the sand to be the best version of you, so your kids can be the best version of them. I think that is such a positive thing, not negative, such a positive thing that you need to own and not actually back away from.
Completely agree. I think it's other people, that environment, as we talked about, the environmental factors, not only, leaving things like the chocolate out, but the people that you surround yourself with. And we've harped on it time and time again around the people that you surround yourself with end up sort of determining who you are. And they'll determine if you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So just, you've got to be stronger than them. You've got to be willing to really own and accept who you are and what you're attempting to achieve, in order to not let any of that shit affect you, because it's hard. It's hard even for myself and Trav. Like, we've been doing this for a long time, but when you're around enough negative people, it's like there's only so many holes in the ship that you can plug, right? Like, you only got so many sort of fingers and toes that you can plug all the negativity when there's that much coming in. And that's why it's important to have open, honest conversations with your family, with the people around you. Hey, it's something that's important to me. I'm trying to achieve a goal here. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Why can't you be happy for me? Right. And then it's like like putting it back on them. Like, why can't you accept that this is something that I want to do for me? I'm not affecting you, right? Just because I don't eat the hot cross bun doesn't mean that you have to eat it now. It's going to go to waste otherwise. Well, fuck, buy some chickens and feed it to them. Jesus. If you hear Trav's roosters in a couple of the backgrounds, it's like, exactly. That's where the scraps go. No picking off the kids' plates. It just goes straight into there.
Right, exactly. But I think, like, for us, like the biggest thing we wanted to get across today is, drawing the line in the sand, bouncing back, creating positive habits, get back into training. That's a keystone habit to knock over the other dominoes. Don't let the weekend last the next 2 weeks, and then we'll get back into it in May. We need to go, no, the healthiest version of you is in your next meal, is in your next training session, is in your next focus of doing steps. I think, our intentions and our actions is just the majority of the things we do over a 7-day period. And we want that to be in line with the intentions. We can't change the past. We can only change the present moment, which then impacts our future version of us. And I think that's the biggest thing I wanted to get across today, mate. Is there anything else you wanted to share today?
No, I honestly think that's it. It's just, if you're willing to be present with yourself and remember the true intention of a lot of these social events, like, it goes beyond Easter. The true intention of a lot of these social events is just that, it's the social side, but society has warped it and twisted it to be about drinking and eating, and that's really the focus. But one of the things I love doing is catching up with friends and doing a board game night. The reason why is, partially, yes, there is a really great cob loaf that usually gets brought, but beyond that, you have to move that to the side, because then you've got an activity that you're doing, and you're doing something together that's not about food and drink, right? We went bowling the other week with a couple of friends, and that was like really fun, because you're not just sitting there around a bar or at a restaurant drinking and eating food. It becomes about the social. It becomes about, well, what is the true intention of this holiday, right? It's not about the eggs. It's not about any of that kind of stuff. So if you let go of all that, if you just go in and being willing to have a plan to get out of it, right? Regardless of what happens, I know that on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, I'm going to get a training session in, and I've got my protein. I've got some frozen meals ready to go if I end up being too lazy, or I've got some stuff ready to prep. All my meals are ready to go. I've got my gym session booked in. I'm just going to do it, and I'm just going to enjoy the weekend. Like, it doesn't have to be as big a deal as people make it out to be. But if you need help with that, if you need assistance with that, the ability to bounce off other people and have more positive people in your community and in your environment is one of the most important things, which is why we've got a free group that we run. I'm pretty sure we chuck it in the description of the show notes every single time that you can join. It's the Fit Dads Club, right? We've got a free group of dads that help support each other. We put some resources in there, but we also do, obviously, coaching for dads, right? And if you're listening to this when it's released, we've actually got a 21-day challenge coming up in 1 week's time, which is going to be a rapid fat loss transformation for dads. So it's 21 days. We'll put a link about it in the show notes and in the description if you're watching on YouTube, so you can find out a bit more information if you want to. You can book in a chat, have a conversation with us, but it's essentially 21 days to just kickstart your fat loss, to kickstart your transformation if you're not on one already, to just really set you up for the rest of the transformation, right? Like a lot of 21-day challenges, it's all about, you just do this really hard shit for 21 days. And then at the end of 21 days, you're at your result. Well, no, you're not. You didn't gain this weight in 21 days. It's going to take longer than that to take it off. So what we want to do is we want to actually set you up with the shit that you'll need for the long term and the education you'll need for the longer term, to then be like, okay, cool. This 21 days has set me up for 21 days and beyond. It set me up for 21 weeks, for 21 months of losing fat, of progressing, as opposed to just being a contained program in that. So if you're wanting to get in touch and if you wanted to do something with us, we've got that one coming up as well. Touch base, DM us on Instagram as well. We've got all the links down there. But that's it from me.
Too easy, guys. And don't forget to rate and review, leave 5 stars, write a review on the iTunes or Spotify, or give us some comments on YouTube and ask us what do you want us to do some episodes on up in the future. But other than that, guys, have a great day. Have a great rest of your Easter. Have a great week. And we'll talk to you next week on the Fit Dad Club podcast. Peace out.